Hello, dears. Welcome back to SoulSync Subliminals, the space where your thoughts, beliefs, and energy align with your desired reality. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and often controversial topics in manifestation: how to change someone using the law of assumption. Can you truly shift someone's behavior, feelings, or actions just by changing your assumptions about them? The answer lies not in control, but in conscious creation. Whether it's a relationship, a friend, or someone you've struggled to connect with, I'll walk you through how your inner world shapes how others show up in your outer world. Let's begin. In a world where relationships, connections, and human behavior often feel unpredictable or outside of our control, the idea that we can influence others through the power of our thoughts may sound unbelievable. Yet it forms the core of one of the most intriguing spiritual and metaphysical principles: the law of assumption. Popularized by mystic and teacher Neville Goddard, this law suggests that our external reality, including how people treat us, is shaped by the assumptions we consistently hold in our minds. According to this perspective, we do not change others through force or manipulation, but by altering our beliefs about them and assuming they already are who we want them to be. This approach shifts our focus inward, away from trying to fix or convince, and toward mastering our own inner state. In the following explanation, we will explore how the law of assumption can be used to change someone's behavior, attitude, or role in your life by first changing the assumptions you hold about them within yourself. The law of assumption, as taught by Neville Goddard, is rooted in the idea that reality is a reflection of our internal state, and that by assuming a certain belief or outcome as true, regardless of the current facts, we ultimately cause it to become our experience. This principle can be applied not only to material goals, but also to relationships and interactions with others. So, how do you change someone using the law of assumption? First, it's essential to understand that you're not forcing anyone to change against their will. Rather, you are changing your assumption about them, which then influences the way they show up in your world. According to this view, everyone is you pushed out, meaning people in your life reflect your beliefs, thoughts, and assumptions about them, whether those beliefs are conscious or unconscious. To begin changing someone, you must first look within. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe about this person? Are you holding on to assumptions like they're cold, they never commit, or they don't understand me? If so, those assumptions are likely shaping your experiences with them. The law of assumption teaches that you don't need to beg, convince, or manipulate the other person. You need only to change your internal state, because your outer world will mirror it. This starts with identifying the version of the person you want to experience. What would it look like if they were loving, supportive, kind, communicative, or trustworthy? What would it feel like to interact with this ideal version of them? Once that ideal version is clear, you move into the assumption that this version already exists. You begin to impress your subconscious mind with the new belief: they are loving, they are devoted to me, they value me deeply. This isn't about pretending or fantasizing. It's about making these new assumptions feel so natural that your inner world aligns with them. A powerful way to do this is through imaginal scenes, visualizations where you see and feel the new version of the person interacting with you the way you desire. For example, you might imagine a conversation where they apologize, confess their love, or show up in a way you've longed for. You keep this scene short, vivid, and emotionally real. You play it often, especially before sleep, until it feels like a memory, not a wish. But visualization isn't the only method. Mental conversations are another powerful tool. This means internally dialoguing with the person as if they are already the version you desire. For instance, instead of replaying old arguments in your head, imagine them saying things like, "I'm so proud of you, I'm lucky to have you," or "Thank you for being patient with me." These inner conversations train your subconscious to accept a new reality. According to Neville, these mental conversations are more powerful than outer conversations because they occur in the realm where reality is truly shaped. As you continue assuming this new version of the person, something profound happens. You change your vibration, your emotional tone, and your expectations. You stop reacting to the old version of them and start responding to the version you now believe in. You may find yourself less triggered, more confident, and more at peace. From this shifted state, your energy changes, and that shift influences how others behave toward you. Often, without any direct communication, the person begins to conform to your new assumption because your energy no longer validates the old pattern. However, this process requires persistence and discipline, especially if you've been affirming the opposite for a long time. You may still see the old version of the person show up, and it can be tempting to react emotionally and fall back into doubt. But the key is to remember that outer reality is a lagging mirror. Just because you haven't seen results yet doesn't mean your assumptions aren't working. Continue to return to your chosen assumption. Affirm it. Feel it. Live from it. Don't look to the external world for confirmation. Let your internal world be the only reality that matters until the outer reflects it. There's also a powerful layer of self-reflection involved. Sometimes, the way people treat us mirrors how we treat ourselves internally. So, if someone is ignoring you or disrespecting you, ask yourself gently, where am I ignoring or disrespecting myself in my thoughts or assumptions? By shifting how you see yourself, assuming you are worthy, lovable, and important, you often shift how others treat you. This internal alignment creates a domino effect in your relationships. The law of assumption doesn't just ask you to change others, it asks you to change the assumptions that form your world, which often includes how you view yourself in relation to others. One common challenge people face is fear or doubt that they are manipulating someone. But the law of assumption isn't manipulation, it's conscious creation. You are not changing their free will. You are choosing to only accept the reality where they show up as their highest self. Everyone has multiple versions of themselves, and by choosing to focus on the best version, you're helping call it forward, not forcing it. You're not controlling them. You're controlling your inner world, which, in turn, influences how people show up in your reality. This process also benefits from detachment, not in the sense of not caring, but in the sense of trusting. You do the inner work, and then you let it unfold in its own time. You don't need to chase, check, or control the outcome. You simply continue to assume the best, feel it real, and hold your new belief as if it's already done. In time, reality shifts. People change. Relationships heal. And it's not because you forced it, but because you assumed it, lived it, and believed it into being. Ultimately, changing someone using the law of assumption is less about the other person and more about you becoming the version of yourself who experiences the new version of them. You don't wait for them to change, you become the person who believes in, receives, and experiences their change. This subtle but powerful shift in your identity is the true magic. It allows you to influence your reality without resistance, without begging, and without fear. You're not a victim of circumstances, you're the conscious creator of your reality. In the end, using the law of assumption to change someone is not about control, coercion, or wishful thinking. It is about stepping into the role of a conscious creator of your reality. It invites you to see others not as fixed or limited, but as fluid reflections of your own internal world. By consistently assuming the best about someone, holding firm to that new belief, and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and inner conversations accordingly, you naturally allow a new version of them to emerge in your experience. The process takes patience, faith, and mental discipline, but it works not by forcing change in others, but by changing the lens through which you view them. As your assumptions shift, your reality, and the people in it, begin to shift too. This is the quiet, profound power of the law of assumption. When you change within, the world outside mirrors that change, often in ways that feel nothing short of miraculous. As you've learned, changing someone isn't about forcing them. It's about shifting your inner assumptions, because your outer world is always reflecting your inner beliefs. The law of assumption reminds us that when you persist in a new story, reality has no choice but to conform. The version of them you desire already exists. Your job is to align with it. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to SoulSync Subliminals for more powerful tools to help you manifest with ease and intention. And remember, your mind is the script. Your belief is the magic. Your world is the reflection. Until next time, keep syncing with your soul.